What you doing, Zombaes? I'm the AC. I'm going to talk about Fear the Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 2, Welcome to the Club. Now, this is another great episode to start off Season 6, especially compared to the last couple of seasons. But this episode mainly focuses on Strand and Alicia. Mainly Strand, though. He kind of has these Morgan moments, I guess, going back and forth on kind of how he is, who he's supposed to be. He has this whole remembering who he is because of what Daniel says to him. And he's kind of like debating trust his instincts and kind of be more brutal, like kill people, or like kind of be more utilitarian, kill walkers, do what be best for people or be best for him. And there's this whole conflict with him the whole time. And it's good. It's a good character from him because Strand the past couple seasons may have been a little boring. Maybe kind of like a little babysitter of Alicia. And, you know, I really liked the first few seasons version of Strand. He was a cool character. He did things in his own way, benefiting either himself and maybe others. But I like that side of Strand. And yeah, a nicer Strand is, you know, better people-wise. But character-wise, selfish Strand is much more interesting to me. But let's actually talk about what happens in the episode. So Strand and Alicia find themselves in some community directly under Virginia's control. And they're pretty much just not going to take shit from anyone anymore. Literally, the ranger starts getting on him. Strand stands up to him because he's still a badass either way. And then, when everything's about to get bad, a little girl intervenes, yells at him. That's apparently enough to stop the ranger from shooting anybody. Turns out this little girl's name is Dakota, and she is Virginia's sister. I mean, really the resemblance is really good, so that casting was pretty much on point. But hey, you also see that Dakota carries a lot of weight just by being Virginia's sister. So, yeah, some cool stuff going on there. But in this community, we also see that they get to meet Daniel again, except for Daniel has lost his memory. He's given Virginia a haircut. Anytime anybody talks to him, he pretty much just says he doesn't know who they are. He is really convincing about who he is, but it's not obvious that he does a really good job at convincing, but it's like there's no way Daniel could have actually lost his memory. I mean, he has a mark on his head, but Virginia said he was trying to save his cat, and the consequences, but there's no way Daniel lost his memory, and we see that of course he doesn't lose his memory. When Morgan shows up at the end and talks to him, he's right away. He even says, I knew that Virginia was looking for Morgan. And it's a cool moment at the end. It's awesome. However, Strand and Alicia quickly get moved to a place I keep calling the molasses trap, because that's exactly what it is. Now, at the beginning of the episode, we got to see this big scene of a couple rangers trying to make some prisoners try to clear out this room that's just full of molasses-covered walkers. And that scene is actually a pretty cool, kind of terrifying thought to think of, like, all these walkers actually stuck together. But when Strand and Alicia are taking care of the problem, and they're all just like separated, it becomes a much less terrifying. If they would have all actually came out, stuck together as like a group, and they had to deal with something like that, that would have been a lot cooler. But as soon as they open the doors, they just kind of come out one by one. The whole point of the molasses of them sticking together is just completely negated. So even though that was cool, it kind of just dissolved right away. Their whole process for how they're taking care of the walkers was cool. I mean, they just kind of grabbed them out and then had a couple of people kill them, drag them away, next people step up. That whole process was cool, like a nice machine, until, of course, it got clogged. But to add to the complication, Dakota shows up, and even though she's helpful, the Rangers see her, they start to cause trouble. While all these walkers are about to escape, Rangers tell everyone to put the weapons down. They listen briefly, then they bring them right back up because, of course, the walkers are escaping. Somehow the people with the guns die first. Really, almost the only ones that die at that scene. So how they're so worried about getting Dakota that they're going to let themselves get killed. They had guns. Everyone else just had spears. Whatever. That's a weird rant. But I know it just goes to show how important Dakota is to Virginia. Probably going to be one of Virginia's downfalls because Dakota seems to not like what Virginia's doing. Anyways, so the whole point of clearing out this molasses trap was because there's supposed to be some kind of big weapon in it. And there was nothing there. That's why I called it a trap. There were so many walkers in there, just covered in molasses. Still don't know why, or how that even happened. And there wasn't anything in it. Obviously, it was a trap. And it was like, oh, this is pretty much just some kind of punishment. It's just some kind of like fake task, mainly just to thin the herd. And I was kind of right with that thinking. The real weapon, the reward for this was Virginia was just looking for a leader, for an army that was capable of clearing out something like this. And that is where Strand came in as a leader. That is where the rest of the people came in as her army. But to do this, to save everyone, Strand had to make his difficult choice of the episode. The only survival from the beginning, seeing Sanjay was being a coward. Strand used him as bait. Cut him open. Or not cut him open, I don't know what I said. Stabbed him in the leg. Pretty much threw him out to the walkers so they could tear him open. And then, when everyone thinks Sanjay sacrificed himself to try to help everyone, Strand's like, yeah, that's what he did. I tried to stop him, but no, it was all on him. And so we're seeing Strand's going back to his lying, his conniving self, and it's awesome. I'm so looking forward to where this is going. But at the end of all this, Virginia rewards Strand and become, I guess, another ranger. He gives him a key that says he's going pretty much a promotion. See where he goes. And then we get this whole big speech at the end of Strand telling Alicia, like, being with her reminds him of who he is, but that's not who he wants to be. He needs to forget himself. And this whole time, Daniel was telling him to remember himself, while Daniel is acting like he doesn't remember himself. It's kind of funny when you think about it, but it's like, okay, I get it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Strand going down the Stark Road. We're already seeing Morgan going down the Stark Road. Daniel will probably also go down this Stark Road since we see him meet up with Morgan. I'm curious as to what's going to happen with that though. Is Daniel going to run off with Morgan? They didn't really show what happened. Is Daniel going to stay so he can kind of be a spy? That's what I'm kind of thinking, so that they can go off and communicate with each other, so Morgan can kind of know what's going on, because Daniel's really the only one with those kind of skills where he can keep acting like he doesn't know while still being able to sneak off when he can to Morgan. It'll be interesting to see where that all goes. So, not talking to the show directly, it fits because of the kind of people, but there is a big difference between the color of prisoners and of the rangers. There was one ranger that was a black one, but the rest were all white, and almost all the prisoners were people of color. And it fits with what they're doing. It's just, once you realize this, you're like, wow, these people are really racist too. Of course they're going to be terrible people. I don't know if they did this on purpose. I feel like the creators of the show must have done it on purpose. It is just too obvious to be coincidental. I don't know. The other thing is, in just the first 2 episodes of the season, I'm getting this vibe that it's like seasons 1 through 3 again, which I'm calling pre-Morgan. But we also get to have Morgan. Keeping everyone separated, we get to see all these characters individually, but keeping Morgan away from them, we get to see Morgan have his own cool thing, but we also get to see the dynamics of the characters before the goody two-shoes Morgan showed up, and kind of just changed that whole dynamic. So that is one of the reasons I'm thinking this season is going really great. And I think with enough time away from everyone, all the character dynamics, all the development is going to be great again. So when they are together again, it is going to feel like completely new people. But yeah, are just my thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead. Just the second episode, we got to see Strand, Alicia, a little bit of Charlie, and a little bit of Daniel. Next, we'll see the rest. I'm sure each episode is going to be a little bit for each pair of people and wherever they're separated and spread out to. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this episode so far. And if you like my video, go ahead and give it a video like. You want to see me talk more about Fear the Walking Dead, all kinds of other zombie stuff, go ahead and subscribe to my channel to see when I do all that. But until next time, I'm the AC. Thank you for watching, and bye.